But like the reason why I wanted to share this is because I literally was like, what if I should just never have published anything in my entire life? This has been a really wild ride. Okay, so partly the reason why that I am full cam and wanting to film a YouTube video is because the journey to like write a third book was much harder than I anticipated it to be. And I thought it would be interesting for anyone who's curious about writing a trilogy, like speaking of that, or just finishing a series, like finishing a big project that's like more than one piece, because like each book is one giant piece of it, you know. I'm wondering if I should split this into two, but you know what, I feel like final books are usually long. That's what we're gonna tell ourselves. Concluding a story seems like it would be really hard. Yeah, it is, Cloud. Like, I did not think that it would be, because basically like I started writing this as a visual novel first, so it was like in a script form because it was going to be like a video game. I was like making it for fun on this silly app that I left because I did not agree with their practices, which was a whole thing that happened. But because of that, like I already had like a huge script and everything. So I was like, oh, like when I published Freeing My Alpha, like the second one, this one, almost exactly 1 year ago. So I was like, I have a full year. And I have most of it written. Things did not turn out that well. Where do I begin? Number one problem here is that I have OCD and PTSD. Sometimes things happen that I cannot control that will trigger those things and ruin my plans. So that happened. I also had like a bunch of really weird things happen with like my dog's getting sick, other people getting sick, me getting sick, and that always like sets you back like multiple weeks. But that happened a lot. I don't even know how many times. At least I want to say 5, maybe 6 for different reasons. So that's like over a month missing at least of that time. And then 2 people that I was friends with died, which was not good. Like for me, for anybody involved, that was not inspiring. I didn't appreciate that part of life, which is making light of a dark situation, I'm aware. But life happens, you know? It's an unfortunate part of life. That made it really hard to write because I was really depressed. Which I didn't anticipate. And then also our country imploded on itself, which I anticipated. But it was worse than, like, it's worse than it's been. So that didn't help. That wasn't inspiring either. So yes, that on top of trying to write the rest of this, you can imagine was a wild ride. What's extra crazy is I literally, like... I was gonna tell this story only like to myself on a camera on YouTube, so I'm like, oh my god. I don't know, chat, if any of you can relate to this, but because I have OCD, sometimes like I'll have thoughts about myself that are like not very nice, but I'll think like that's like true, you know what I mean? Like not in a way where I'm like making things up, more of like I'll see something that I did like wrong, quote unquote, and I'll be like, this is the worst mistake ever, I can't come back from this, like that sort of thing. And so like overthinking to the extreme. Let me get another book for reference because this story is really wild. That's why I wanted to tell you it. If anybody else is a creative, like even if you don't have OCD or per se, if you've experienced something like this, I would like to tell you you'll get through it. Also, I don't want to freak anyone out. I've been through OCD treatment and like you can have setbacks, but they always get better, okay? That's my disclaimer. You have the tools, like the more you learn to support yourself, like I highly recommend ERP because that's like the gold standard treatment for OCD. The more you practice, the better things will be. Like you can get past those setbacks faster. I'm saying this because I had one without realizing it, so that's why it's kind of freaky, okay? And I'm sorry that that's probably scary to some people, but like the reason why I wanted to share this is because I literally was like, what if I should just never have published anything in my entire life? What if I did that? What if I published like the worst thing in existence and like I did something absolutely horrible? I never should have done this. I like have to find a new career. Like, I didn't know that this was happening because I was already in a depression spiral because, like I said, one of my friends passed away. So the combination of those two things just really messed with me. But it snuck up in such an insidious way that I was like, I had no idea. Because I'm really good at like picking out now, like, oh, I think this sounds more of like an OCD type of pattern happening rather than like something that is actually not cruel. You know, because these were very cruel things to think about myself. But yeah, sorry, Claude, by the way, you said overthinking can really be tough. Like, it can keep you from releasing anything. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what the problem was, because when I'm having those types of thoughts, I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't write. And the last thing I want to do is hurt anybody. Like, that's literally what my OCD latches onto. So I was like, what if I'm writing some like terrible, inappropriate, unhelpful, like it was just on and on. I don't want anyone to take this personally if you like my books. It has nothing to do with that. It's like, this is part of the condition that I have. I'm going to tell you how I figured this out too. So in March, when that all happened, that was starting in November, and I was really struggling to write. So I was trying to force myself to write. Finally, I got over this hurdle a little bit where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this series, like, see what happens. I was really disappointed because I was looking forward to this last book the most. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I still am. I basically disappointed myself by being rude in my head to myself. And I was literally like, what if I can't even publish it? And I went to Amazon because I have to publish through Amazon, unfortunately. All authors do because they hold like a monopoly. I went to Amazon and I realized that I had scheduled my ebook for pre-order for a year ahead of time, which is normal. But since I hadn't made as much progress as I thought, I didn't realize that I would get really like severely punished if I changed the deadline. So then I was like, oh no, I have no choice. I better just do this. So I think that kind of helps push me past a little bit. At the same time, I still was having like this kind of underlying feeling of being like, oh my God, what if I am like a terrible, absolutely horrible writer? Which, like, even if I am, I could still publish, you know? Which is a wild thing to say. But who's gonna stop me? So really, this was all OCD's doing. At that time in November when I was depressed, do you see these tabs? This was in November because I started being like, oh my God, what if I did this absolutely horrible thing? I need to fix my book. Literally, like, my one rule of publishing is to not re-edit after we edited. I don't know why it got passed. I think because I was like, oh, I had to fix something in the back of the book for one of them. And so it gave OCD an opening, and then it just took off. But in the meantime, I thought that this was a legitimate thing to be doing. So it just like went over my head, like past my filter. And so it sent me on a months-long spiral of thinking these terrible things that almost ended my career. I'm not even joking. That's why I wanted to tell you how crazy this was, okay? So I was like freaking out going through the book because I was like, you know what, I already have to fix something in the back. Why don't I check for any typos or anything that's weird? First of all, going through a whole book and publishing it, of course there's still going to be typos. There's always typos, like even if you read it again. So I'm sure I missed some again. But if you look closely, I stopped before reading the end. These are like folded. Like this whole second back half here, like from here on. That was because I got so upset. I got so upset that I couldn't keep reading. So yes, I went on a huge spiral. That did not go away because I didn't remedy this. Like, I didn't catch it. I went through and marked all these things, and I was like, what did I do? How could I have done this? Blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I checked the Amazon thing. I was like, I'm screwed. I have to publish this. So in March, I was like, I have to fix the ebook file before I did this, like, Do you remember when I did like that alpha roll? Like it was like a cinnamon roll book boyfriend promotion. It was like a free book promotion. So I was going to be putting the first book, My Shy Alpha, up for free for like a couple days. And I was like, it's going to get a lot of downloads. So I want to just fix one very simple thing. And then I was like, oh, I remember back in November, I put all these tabs in this book. I should just input those too. I went into the file, I opened it up, I opened the book up and went to these tabs. They're not problems. They're not. I was like, excuse me. They're like literally fine. Like it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, I almost ended my career for nothing. That's my story. Because it was not bad. There was nothing wrong with it. Like sometimes it was like, oh, I could have put this word instead of this one. It's like, who cares? Who cares? It's not bad at all. So anyway, in March, I was like, oh my God, like OCD is evil. Like this was so insidious. Because the depths that it dug into to change, like warp my perspective about, because I care about this. Like if I'm spending time writing this, like I care about this. You know what I mean? It attacks everything you care about. Anyway, told my therapists, because I have to have two, one for PTSD, one for OCD. They both work with people with OCD, so we worked on it. Actually, we didn't even have to work on it. It was just me realizing, and then we were like, what the heck? And then we like talked about it, and then it was like, okay. And then I finished writing this. Very long story short. Well, I mean, actually, it wasn't that short. I just spent like a while telling you about that. But I just wanted to tell you, first of all, moral of the story. Okay, here's what I learned. Number one, I am my harshest critic times 5 million. My book is not going to be liked by people. That's normal. It's not for everybody. And I know normal is a loaded word. We don't like the word normal. But even if I was the only person who liked it, like that's fine. You know? So if anybody else has a project and like you're so worried about what other people are going to think, you think that you made a terrible mistake just because like it's not perfect or something, or you have typos in it, or you accidentally smudged it or something, like if you don't tell anyone, number one, they probably won't notice. Number two, like as long as you had fun making it and you like learned from it, and you're gonna keep making things hopefully, so don't let this ruin all the future things that you're gonna make, because that wouldn't be cool. That would be very sad. Putting something out in the world is so valuable, you know what I mean? So that's what I would tell someone in my position. Even if your perspective is like off right now, you're probably being really hard on yourself. And even if you aren't, let's say like it actually legitimately has all these mistakes or whatever, you can still edit things, you can still redraw something if you messed it up, but don't like do it to the point where it's like toxic on yourself, because that's definitely a thing. And you can always change things, like even after this is done and everything, like I could still find things to change in it. That's just how it is with creative projects. Anyway, those were my lessons to learn, and I genuinely do still like this, and I still tried to have fun writing this, even though honestly I was so sad that it was ending. I was like sad that I didn't get to enjoy it as much because this got in the way. But sometimes these like creative processes are not, or like processes, what? I don't know. They're not perfect either, and they're not like linear. So it's not just like, oh, like I'm gonna have so much fun and then this is all gonna get done. It's like gonna be up and down like a roller coaster. I still enjoyed it overall because I really liked the book. It's silly, it's sweet, it's very cute. Thank you for watching. I wanted to release this especially for OCD Awareness Week this year. This was a pre-recorded video from Twitch, so if you want to come hang out, I usually stream about 1 to 4 times a week, which sounds really specific, but, well, actually unspecific. But, I'm also planning on doing new videos every Tuesday and or Saturday, so I am excited to see you here more on YouTube. And if you are looking to get some more support, if you think that you or a loved one has OCD, I recommend checking out the International OCD Foundation. I'll have it linked in the description. I will see you very soon. I hope you're having a great day. Goodbye for now.